Oh wait, there we go. It didn't work the first time. Okay, I don't know if you guys tuned in for Top Step TV. Pretty much the same analysis as I posted in the commentary channel. I had a migraine this morning, so I didn't really call anything out. But I was looking for potential short on NQ. GC looks like it just grinds higher. This was at 230. ES starting to break down, see if NQ falls. Like to see more momentum there. If you're trading gold, I would look for VWAP at 3883 for first target, POC at 3896 for second. This ran right up to the target. Hit it perfectly. So I sent that out at like 230. We moved up like 12 points off there. I was on Top Step TV and didn't announce it. Yeah, I was having issues with my PC. My Wi-Fi was not working, and I even tried an Ethernet cable. Didn't work. So something's up with my PC. Last night, right? Sellers in control on gold right now, looking for 60s-70s to support. We struggled to get back above POC today. Trying to short here for New York low. I got stopped on this by like less than a point. Looks like it's going to play out. 0.6 was too tight. Played out nicely besides stopping me out. I'd wait to see if we bounce here. At the gym, looks like buyers came in, and then we started to run back up. So, yeah, I think today was solid besides having a migraine. Pretty straightforward on gold. We bounced right out of this value area low, too. That's why I was looking at the longs. We bounced out of the value area low. Came up to that lower band, rejected initially, and then we come back up above, and we hold that level. Just continue to move up. I was in, but got out and locked out because I got tilted after IB. On what? NQ, GC? Alright, let me pull up trade review. NQ, gotcha. Okay. 250 loss. GC during Asian session. GC was forming lower highs and higher lows, or higher highs, lower highs and lower lows. So when I saw wick to upper band and rejection candle, I got in after I entered short starting that previous day support zone. I think this is fine. Very similar to the trade I took. It just stopped you out before it came back up before it ran down. I think this is a valid trade to take. First of all, thank you for reviewing my trades while I'm at work, since I'm not able to join the live during that time. Comment 4, MGC, minus 373, sideways market. Initially took the wrong fib for market open, trade and entry at 618 consolidation with upper band rejection and higher time frame. Low volume node moved stop loss to wick of sell candle. Initial stop loss was at 38.94. Took me out, went sideways. Took another revenge trade at 382, trailed with 15-minute candles, hit my stop. Need more stop loss and patience when entering trades. Always look for higher time frame and valid pivot points. Okay. And you're entering too early. Yeah, so this was after we swept out that low. Once you see these buyers come back in here and there's acceptance. Right, this does reject here. But if I'm looking for this, like, once this bounces hard out of here, it's kind of hard to take a short trade in here until you get like this pop up here. Yeah, so you shorted at 888. I think the entry's fine on that. I think the idea behind it's valid, but based off the price action, I would wait to see if it gets up above this. Like if it's sustained above this VWAP, I would see. Okay, especially when this range is pretty tight between the upper and lower bands. I would see if this gets below VWAP and then comes up and does a retest. Because the buyers just flooded in. But yeah. Ellen London, Confluence. Okay, wait, and then when did we take the next short? Okay, so we got stopped out, and then we got back in off this rejection candle. Same price as your initial short. And then you got stopped again. Yeah, I think this second short is better, but your trade location's off. If this is going to flush, right? If this is going to flush, you would see this red candle come out, this next red candle come out. You wouldn't have this consolidate down in here. It would break these lows pretty quickly. So I'd look for that on the next time. The next time you're, if you're in that short, I don't have an issue with either of the trades. I think, you know, the idea around it is valid, just based off the price action and what I was seeing on higher time frames. If this was going to flush through this level in Asia, right when it got down there, it would have just flushed immediately. It shouldn't have been bought back up, because if I'm looking at the volume profile from the previous New York session, right, this is right at value area low. Comes down to that value area low, gets bought up. When it gets back up to this POC, I want to see, okay, we're rejecting, are we holding? And then you get that this level just holds. So I just focus on that higher time frame, because this bounced perfectly off that POC or off that value area low, and that's why I alerted in the commentary. I said at the gym, but looks like buyers came in at 916. And when I'm alerting this is kind of a notion of, okay, maybe I should wait on my short. And then I asked Aaron to confirm with order flow, but he never did. I think he was busy. But yeah. Okay. Next trade. L in London, Confluence is VWAP, lower time frame POCs, demand zone, lower time frame plus high time frame value area low, true day open, plus 0.5 fib. My TP is supply zone at 39.14, stop loss in that level. We bounced 3 times already. Was in profit like 1 hour, but reversed and stopped me, and then ran up without me. Okay, I think the analysis is right. The trade ID is fine. The context is fine. Your target is fine. It just ripped your stop. I'm assuming it stopped you out, like, pretty much to the tick. I'd be open to re-entering on this, and, like, when we've got all these lows sitting here, I might push my stop down to this previous 5 minute below that range, just in case it wants to go down below that range, like on this 5 minute, if it wants to go down below that range and then run back up. On this was during London. Okay, so we bounced here once, bounced here twice, bounced here 3 times, 4th time. Yeah, so it looks like it barely stopped you out. Yeah, that's a brutal trade. I'd have it probably down here, especially if you're with micros. If you're trading with micros, it's only a 2-point difference. So, with 3 micros, that's what, $60. Your risk is still managed on that. And then once this forms, right? Once this starts stair-stepping up, just bring your stop up to the bottom of where that starts to stair-step. But yeah, like the analysis is correct there. I was trying to short this after we rechecked upper band VWAP. We have 60-minute London IB, got stopped. Okay. So this was also in London. We didn't break the low though. If you're using the London IB, where are you anchoring your London IB at? Because it's still 3 to 4. And I wouldn't use rejection stats on GC. They're not good. So your low set second here, but the rejection stats aren't good. So I wouldn't use these going forward. Because this is just holding this bottom of the range. When you see it wick, like bounce once, bounce twice, bounce 3 times, bounce that 4th time. Yeah. Also, Another thing, so in regards to this previous trade from Guzlia, this is where trading micros is kind of bad, because you wouldn't have gotten stopped out on a mini, but you get stopped out on micros, because this low never breaches this area where your stop's at. Your stop is at 3886.3. Right? So it never breaches that on the mini product, but the micro product, because there's slight differences, it does hit that. And you can see it in Kodak screenshot, right, where it wicks down, which sucks. So if you are trading the micro product, give your stops an extra like 0.5 ticks of room. Yeah, I see the big buying in here. And then it pops up to there. But there's just no sellers. Like, here we had previous failed selling attempt. And then the next time when we got back down there, there's just no sellers present anymore. There's big sellers on this one. Big sellers on this one. And then they run out of steam here. London IB on NQ. IB bullish, bounced out of low volume, no POC, upper band, London VWAP, value area high holding, true day open, RE swept. TP at 1/3 ADR because we were in all-time highs. Stop and profit at 1.5R. Okay. So this is on NQ. Yeah, this, like when you don't get that strong momentum up, yeah, I think the trailing is just a little tight on that. So you got stopped on NQ during London. You would have gotten stopped anyway on this either way. But yeah, I would trail it here if this push isn't strong. I want to see a little bit more room. But yeah, I'm fine with this trade. And then this comes down to 618 and then it rallies. So you can use that same concept. Same concept from the New York IB on here. This comes down to that 618 and rallies. So you could always re-enter on this. I think if you want to lock up profits on this because you got stopped out on the previous trade, I think it's fine. I think that's completely valid to do with your trailing. All right, because this covers your previous loss, so you're break even on the day. I don't have an issue with that. 10-point L on NQ. Bias based on London correlating with Asia principal. Price wicked at 0.5 in London range. An upper view up band, so I entered the TP with trailed stop loss because we were at all-time highs. Just too early on this entry. Wait for this green candle to come out. Wait for that green candle to at least start printing. Right? And then once this starts moving back up. Because if you get in here, you're getting it at the same spot, and then you have your risk down here. I like the trade idea. Killer Posse. It's just a little too early on the entry. Long again after retracement. Okay, you did exactly what I just talked about. Last pick, I'm out with last week. Didn't realize I was in 3 minutes. Really mad right now. It's 1 hour later and his 10 points for my TP. I'm locking myself out before I do something stupid. Yeah, so that's what I just talked about. In with 6. Okay. Big wick. How did this stop you? Did you trail too tight? I just leave this on the base. When you see this big wick, right, what should happen after a big wick like this? You're either going to see it base out like it did here and then continue to push higher, or you're going to see the next candle is going to be heavy red and that's going to reverse. That's typically what I would be looking for. Like if I'm looking at GC, I think there's a decent example of this. Right, like here, you get this fairly sizable wick. The next candle is pretty heavy red, and then it does this little pullback here. This is a reverse case of it, right? You get that wick, and then it continues to push up. I want to find a example where it wicks it, where it makes that big wick, bases out, and then continues to push. Like here. Big wick there, bases out, and then continues to push higher. So I know those big wicks are scary, but yeah, that I think it's just understanding price action. That wick doesn't always necessarily mean it's going to go bearish. I think this is a good trade. I would take this trade. One trade on MGC long from 618 that ran to TP A+ setup. Saw a nice reaction from that level, so I entered one trade away from passing demo challenge and starting combine soon. Okay, solid. Let me check your fib. Your fib's backwards. Your fib is backwards. This should be high to low. Or, sorry, low to high. When you're anchoring it, not high to low. So your fib's backwards on this. So this is a 382 tap. I'm assuming this is in pre-market on GC. Yeah, this is right here. And it's also that upper VWAP band. And then it runs up. I'm cool with this trade. I think it's a good scalp trade. Your fib's just anchored wrong. Was originally bullish on gold due to government shutdown talks. Saw a big sell-off at 8:13 a.m. Was looking to enter off previously defended price at 39.05, 39.04. Entered too quickly on first go and got stopped. Entered again at 39.07 once I saw absorption and pull back into low volume node. My stop was under the range 39.06. Exited once we broke swing high and saw tape slow. Okay. Yeah, same trade. Same trade. I think your stop's too tight on this. Your stop's a little bit too tight. This is a 2-point stop. So give it a little bit of room. Then once this starts working, like if I was to take the trade in here, then yeah, I'll have a tighter stop on this because I want to see momentum out of this. But when it's in this consolidation, I want to have a little bit of room to breathe. But I think this is a nice trade. It's a nice trade. 2 demo trades and done for the day. Feeling Mojo come back. First was bullish bounce, would say I didn't manage it well because I got stopped pretty much and ran a bit after. Second was short from resistance. For 8 points, trade view didn't let me manage paper trade, so I had to trade properly, so I had to close. Entry is good on both. Trading view still sucks for executions, but demo side you can. Okay, nice short on this, Ziki. You can use the 15-minute orb on this. This same exact trade. Just let it breathe a little bit. Let it breathe a little bit. NQ short, CVD divergence before open, rejection off upper range of POC, big red opening candle, retraced to 0.5 fib, entry after breaking lows to trust the momentum, TP true day, nice 4 RR to start up the XFA. Good trade, bro. Yeah, right at that POC, comes back up to it, fails. Did you get in it? Okay, so I'd say the entry's a little bit late here. You can get in this pre-market when this is back up at that POC and it fails. I would get in this pre-market, and I would try it. But I think this is, you have a nice target on this. Failure equals, I'm assuming that's gay. Hold on one sec, I have to check something. But yeah, tried too long GC. We had a good reaction to the PSC anchored from yesterday, New York to now. And close above VWAP anchored at 6 p.m. Rushed 5 points, 3 cons for 20 points, got stopped. Okay, I tried this here too. Probably shouldn't have tried this trade when this is selling off so hard. Tried to short NQ. I was early on my entry, got stopped quick, 382. Fib and VWAP were respected when I got in. Okay. So on GC, yeah, I tried this too. But I should have waited on this, especially when this is rejecting that hard. I should have waited for this to bottom out. And then NQ, that 382. I think this 382 is valid. Yeah, right up to that. It comes up to that 0.5 and then it rejects. I think the second trade's valid. I think you're just in a little early. Small shitty entry scalp because no reaction at VWAP. Also didn't manage well, so locked out. Still can't complain about 1,000 on a day. And it ran to TP. Okay. When the range is larger, Zeki, 10 is kind of a lot, to be honest. But yeah, if you use smaller size, you might be able to hold it better. Sure, if open on GC demo trade, start to reject from value area high, also upper band of VWAP. Showed us that we were starting to be overpriced, failed buying a momentum downside, wanted to take trade off at upper band because it started to reject their move, stop on 1 minute because of impulse move, and then price rejected hard again. Approaching VWAP, so I scaled my position. Strong 5 minute, then I saw CVD rising, but price was not moving up, so I was confident. We break to the downside of VWAP, got stopped by 0.5 points, then price went straight to TP, so too tight with stop. Yeah, if you're using the 5 minute, yeah, when it's on that VWAP, it might bounce up there. So I would just, if you want to hold the trade, be a little more lenient with your stops. If you want to make sure you capture it, tighten it like that. I think that's fine. But this is a good trade. L on NQ, bro. What the fuck? Your entry's a bit low on this. Your fib's also anchored backwards again, because this is the 382 tap. I think your entry is just a little bit low, because I want to get in as close to that VWAP as I can. You hit your DLL. Combine 4, tried to enter same trade twice after New York came up and took out previous day high. That aligned with value area high. However, I was impatient on first attempt and second attempt. I didn't have enough drawdown left, so when price came back up slightly, that's my stop loss. I got stopped and my account blew. Okay, we're buying right at the highs. So this pre-market trade is where we want to be taking that long. This, I want to see if there's still momentum up there. But this, like, we're top ticking right at the value area high. When we're breaking the highs, it's tough. Okay, and then you shorted. Oh wait, you were going for shorts anyway. Sorry, my bad. I'm fine with the shorts. The short idea, I think, plays. But we should, yeah, this first entry a little early, and then that second entry we should size down if we know we don't have much drawdown left. First, go to volume profile, point of control, and I snapped it long. Target at 0.5. Upper band closed it at 1 to 2. Okay. This is higher time frame. Yeah, it bounced right there. That was also previous day highs. Solid trade, bro. I don't really have too much to comment on this, besides like maybe adjusting your stop to break even, or like in profit off this impulse move. MNQ 2 micro top tick short. Ignore previous trade. I accidentally went long instead of short. Perfect 0.5. Good trades, Adrian. I like this. Trade my stop off 15-minute candle, 5-minute impulse candles. Saw sellers start to get absorbed or repeatedly bounced, so I took it off there. I closed, saw big buyer on bookmap, but no go up. This will give me more confidence to hold. Overall, solid. Risk $76 to make 216 on 2 micros. Very solid, bro. Little 40-point scalp. Solid. New York AM short, 900 to 2 accounts. Confluence is rejecting VWAP, value area high, low volume node, 0.5 fib. Stop loss above low volume node, 10-point stop. Trailed very tightly after stronger. Solid trade. First trade I've taken with 0 drawdown, absolutely insane. Very patient with trade. An entry as well, but I wanted to get out drawdown and set myself up to pass these combines tomorrow. Good trade, bro. I'm fine with where you got stopped in profit too. 60 points, solid. I would take some off as we break that IB low. I think that's always just a good spot to like take some profit off. So if you take like, 2 off at that IB low, or like 3 off, you've got 7 on. So maybe think about scaling like half your position at that IB low. If it wants to run for the extensions, you've got those contracts to hold it. But good trade. Entry to the tick, short and Q scalp. Main confluence is low volume node that price had previously bounced out of it. Entered with 9-point stop, about $170 risk. Target was POC. Tried to stop aggressively on 3 minute due to both accounts being in $500 drawdown. Securing profit instead of being greedy, closed for about 700. And day up 500 on 2 accounts. Possibly could have been a bit more passive with the stop. Okay. Yeah, so this was after the low of daybreak. You bottom ticked that bitch, bro. Yeah, I would have, like, I would trail here. Once this candle closes, I want to see how this next candle starts to open. If this next candle immediately pushes the highs, then I'll trail at the bottom of that. But if not, you know. I like the framing and the trade idea. Good trade. 3 trades practice. Long support zone. Failed selling. On another rejection, exited. Then went for shorts for IB. 2 shorts, 0.5 low volume node. Both VWAPs targeting IB low break. Levels at rejection, re-entered, then adjusted. First up too tight. Partials near lows. Full exit after it looked like it was going to retrace after breaking low. Okay. And then you reversed. I think this reversal was a little early. And then you got short again. Okay. Patient on the adjustment. Okay, adjust now. Yep. Solid. Okay. I think that first trade's good. That second trade, I think it's just a little early. This third trade, good management, good execution. Everything's pretty solid. So very nice. GC long win. Upper band staying above value area high. Saw a left selling on footprint. Couldn't push a lower. Target was that London high that we hit by the tick. Management is shit, man. We're on to scale and trail my stop loss. My TP hits. Stop loss should have stayed at 3909.8. And Q short lost twice. First short was around 382. Try again. 0.5. Stop loss got hit by a tick and we flushed. 2 losses on GC longs. Okay. Tried going long twice, but we were stalling for a while. Got stopped pretty fast on my first entry. Enter again at this point. It's just a tilt trade. Yeah. This first trade, I like this. Yeah, stop management in terms of this, right? This is the same trade as a lot of other people took. Once this starts working out, bring it to the bottom of this strong, like where this strong move is, adjust it up there. And then there's no other reason to adjust this besides like potential profit taking. Like unless you want to adjust this before New York opens up. Yeah, just use OBS. This one, I'm fine with this idea. You got in your entries. Not great. Like I want to get in right up there. And then the second idea, I think that second idea is fine. Again, it's entry. Because it consolidates for a bit. Is this GC? Yeah, this is GC. See how this trails. How we trail this. So this is just consolidating, so I wouldn't have adjusted that stop yet. When it's consolidating, I just leave the stop open to let it breathe. Okay, this is where I would adjust now. Yep. That's solid. You're going to scale some off there. I think that's fine. Yeah, and then that second adjustment. Just a little early. Okay, this, yeah, the entry's too low, bro. Also, we entered, when we entered this candle hadn't closed yet. I'd wait for that candle close. this one stops you. Okay. Then you re-enter again, pretty much at the same area. Yeah, tough. I think it's just that issue with entries on those. That GC trade was nice. Okay, and then we re-entered again. When the range is larger on GC, we're gonna have to have wider stops, so we should have less contracts on. I would probably take that off. Got stopped on it. Yeah, tough. Maybe play with stopped in profit. MNQ. Short. Same thing. Entry. Break IB low. Retrace to 25%. Below both VWAP and failed bind. Also 0.5 fib. Okay, we got stopped on this. Yeah, the moves, like, we want to take this move here. And your fib is on too low of a time frame. Because it already tried to reject here, and then it pushes through it with strength. Your fib, I would recommend using this pivot up here to gauge it. Under this trade, market open, MGC, 2 contracts. When price slowed down near VWAP area, I entered the trade when the doji printed on the 5-minute. Okay. I think it's fine. I mean, I took this trade too. This is a riskier trade. It's riskier because all that momentum to the downside. Yeah, it's also previous area from like London and Asia. Like there's some confluences in here. I took this too. I got stopped on it, so don't feel that bad about it. There's not too many thoughts on this other than maybe we start looking at just trading the retests, right? Because it gives us a nice retest here. And that was a clean trade. And then this flushes through that lower band, gets down to that VWAP. Wait for the reaction a little bit longer, especially on that first top. I entered it too. I tried it because I thought that 3900 level would hold. Was down GC short today. I was patient on the retracement trade. Came all the way down to the news candle this past Tuesday. Support high time frame on 4 hour. Found some buyers. Entered with 3 minutes tight stop, targeting 15-minute FEGCE. Full TV hit after I got trailed out. Overall good trade. Taking another max payout. Solid Jossie. Okay. Solid. I like it. Came down, stopped you. I think this is fine on the trails. If this is gonna have momentum to the upside, like I prefer to trade GC when it's full momentum. Like today, when I called this out here, this looked like it was just gonna stair step and pop to me. So like this is the trade I want to take personally. In terms of trailing on this, on the 5-minute. On this leg, it pushes up, does its retest. I think you were in. Where were you in at? Yeah, you got in after the retest. We're trailing on the 1-minute. So if I'm trailing on the 5-minute, I would trail it here. Then once it does this retest, then I trail it at that retest. Okay, and then it builds this base out. Once it starts to push out of the base, I just trail it at the base. Once this starts to stair step, and then I see the strong momentum candle, I'm probably going to put it on this wick or this wick, and then when you get the big pop, I put the stop at the bottom of there. So I think it's just, Jossie, like when you're trailing, if you're looking for these really far TPs, like this is a pretty far TP, like you're shooting for like 20 points here. The 1 minute's kind of hard to trail on. if you're looking for those longer trades, and GC is pretty dead after 12. Trail it on the 5 minute, bro. Trail it on the 5. Like my trail would be here. But like you're up so much profit on this, I would take one off and then just trail it. I just trail it slightly differently. London, constant view off rejection and IB break upside. Third trade above POC. Lower band tap, but got stopped trailing, going back to down after only using 5 micros, up 700, but now done for the day. But better review, but not at home. Okay, that's fine. I think this is valid on the London trade, depending on where your stop is at. Just TP'd at Asia highs, I'm assuming, or that 3,900 level. And then I think this is valid as well. I think both of those are good trades, Jack. But got stopped trailing. Yeah, trailing's a little bit like it. When I'm trailing on the 5 minute, so I see this green bullish candle print. I want to see this next candle print bullish as well for like momentum trades. So either stop at this candle or this candle, this big 5 minute body. If I'm looking for way far up momentum, and like that would be in profit for you. You got a clean entry on this. So. GC long form GC caught 10 points for first TP. 2 cons came down to Sunday open value area low. Got bought up immediately. I got above lower band, started writing AMA, so I got in risk 3.5 points. First target of 10 points on 2 MGC. Had second point at 20 points, but my trailing stop got hit for 6.5. I think this is a good trade. We could try to get in on this consolidation, but like once you get this breakout of that consolidation, that's additional confirmation. I think this is valid, Jacob. I'd be interested to know how you're trailing this. Yeah, Jack, this trail's too tight. I would have it down here. I think this is your London trade. Sorry for so many picks, but I like to comment on them. That's fine. People post videos, bro. I don't mind if you post picks. Okay, so you shorted GC. Stuff's to break even. Starts closing here. So stop here as big buyers are coming in. Okay. Miss shorts big time. Okay, so this was pre-market. Is this pre-market? This one? This one's pre-market. Yeah, so we want to see the... Like, I want to see that band get tested at least. So if I'm looking for shorts, right, and you'll see this is pretty common. Like, I want to see this band get tested. When this is in this heavy of an uptrend, I want to see this band get tested before I look for the shorts. And then once we get here, right, we break below the band. What do? We retest that band, and then we reject. So I want to see this band tested before I look for those shorts. When this isn't that heavy enough of an uptrend, I wouldn't look for shorts in this area. I'd look for the longs, and then after it's tested, it breaks through with strength, comes back up, retests it, and then it flushes. So I think that's just mistiming, right? Yeah, if I'm looking for like here, right? Same thing plays out in London yesterday. Right, this is in a heavy uptrend. I want to see this at least test the band before I look for shorts. Comes down, gets near it, it doesn't tap it. That's fine to me. If it's this close to it, this to me is a test essentially. It breaks below the band, comes up, retests it, and then flushes. Right, so it's the same scenario. And here, if I'm looking for longs, right, I want to see it break above the upper band, retest that lower band, and then it can't push below there, starts to run. Are your bands lagging? No. No, they aren't. Because when I was trading back here on, what is this, Tuesday? I was trading back here on Tuesday. This band was sitting up here. Right? It came up, like I watched this as it was printing. The band's going to change as it gets more information in there.
but it's going to be slightly off, right? It's not going to be perfect every time. But here, I watched this play out in real time. It came up to this band, started to form rejection, comes up again, retests it. It hits that band. I watched it hit the band, and then it rejected. So no, they are technically lagging slightly because you have to have that data collection come in. But as it comes in, right, you can watch it real time. You can watch it tonight when Sunday opens, or when Friday night opens, I guess, or Thursday night opens. You'll see your VWAP starts to print, and since there's very little data in there, you're going to see it fluctuate as the candles are printing. But yeah, I think this just wait on the shorts. Use those bands as additional confirmation. And QIB loss today. True day no sweep, buys for short, and price dumped heavy, so I had short buys coming into IB. VWAP and fib retracement. Could have been good trade, but I didn't trail stop loss and target extensions, which wasn't a good idea because I was already down 300 from previous day. I could have taken profit at lows, but very tilted and very annoyed I didn't trail because it wasn't enough money to cover my losses. Next time I'll trail. Also be grateful. However much. Okay. Yeah, and then you're in another trade in here as well. I think this is a good trade. I think it's a good trade, but we should be scaling at that low. Same comment I made earlier. GC long, NQ short, 2 L's, trade long after wicking a demand zone, POC, VWAP, previous structure, switch back to normal risk of 300 because rebuild is incoming, trade IB short at VWAP. If you're on the new dashboard, the rebuild doesn't matter. Rebuild doesn't matter if you're on the new dashboard because those resets get banked. Trade IB short at VWAP, got stopped by a tick, locked account after. Okay. Yeah, I already covered this from previous trades. And I covered this one as well. I think this is a fine trade. I think your stop's just a little too... you've got a 13-point stop here. I would say 20 to 25-point stop on NQ. Kelly, what are you doing? What the dog doing? Yes, would have made bank if I didn't chicken out. Okay, your stop's in profit. Trail. I think that trail's fine. And then you got out for 6 points. Didn't like the reaction and you closed. 67, 63. Okay, you didn't like this. Yeah, if you're looking at price action and you're watching it on the 5-minute and you don't like a 5-minute reaction, switch up to the 15-minute and just see, okay, has anything on the 15-minute told me to close? Yeah, I think this one's fine. It's based off, you have a number of confluences in there. I took this trade as well. I knew it was a little bit heavier risk. I still tried it. I got stopped on it too. The second one, this NQ one, I think this is a good trade, but our stop's too tight. Right? My recommendation is 20 to 25 points on the stop. We have a 13-point stop here. So no, Killer Passy, don't be a fucking dick. I don't want to have... I want to go in fucking premium chat later and see fucking people arguing like it was yesterday. With fucking Morgan and someone else. I think Rob has a clean trade. Adrian also had 2 very clean trades. I think both of these are clean. 2 clean trades today. No, Killer Posse's rage baiting you, bro. Why was it high risk? Yeah, because once you get this volatility coming in, right? When this is coming in at open, I tried this here. Right? Don't get me wrong, I tried this too, because VWAP, right? If I'm looking at Asia session volume profile, we weren't at POC. The POC changed, right, once this leg formed. But we were near this value area low. I tried this in here. I got stopped on it. Yeah, it's just higher risk because of the volatility. On 15-minute, looks like it's swept. On ES. Yeah, but like this, let me, like that to me, after this candle prints, I want to see what the next candle is. And maybe I tighten my stop. Your stop was already in profit. If I'm looking for that big trade, I need to be able to say, okay, this 15-minute candle, I'm not going to get freaked out by it. I want to see what the next candle is. If the next candle is green, then yeah, cut it. Cut it. But when I see this next candle start to reject, I'm going to hold it. Yeah, I tried the long. I got stopped on it. Yeah. Okay, guys. Straight review. I'll be on slow markets tonight. I'll see you guys there. All right.